According to Abraham Maslow, self-actualization is being achieved by climbing the so-called hierarchy of needs. So you start with the most fundamental need, which is the physiological need. You make sure you have enough food, water, sleep, and as soon as you manage that one, you are concerned with the next need that emerges. You want to feel safe. You want to have a stable income and a safe place to live. After that, you want to feel connected with others. You're looking for friends and a partner. And again, if those are fulfilled, you are focusing on feeling worthy and respected, and you want to build a strong self-esteem. And if the foundation is met, you are opening up to the level of self-actualization. You're keen on fulfilling your own potential, which tangibly means that you do have a stronger understanding of who you really are, and you're expressing that with your work and your general attitude. And on top of that, you're also building more of those characteristics which are typical for self-actualizers, which we already talked about in chapter 1. This pyramid structure gives the impression that you suddenly unleash the next level. For example, you now have a family, friends, and a partner, so you can just worry about the next level, self-esteem. But in fact, you can work on your needs simultaneously. Even when you're self-actualizing, you're still hungry, you still feel lonely once in a while, or you can still experience a blow to your self-esteem. But of course, these days you do have some needs that seem more important to you than others. And what's also true is that the more you satisfy your lower needs, the more you are concerned with your higher needs. Let me ask you the following question. What do you desire the most these days? Are you feeling lonely and you would like to work on your need for belonging? Are you keen on becoming successful and therefore self-esteem is something important to you? Lacking any need always translates into a desire, and this desire shows you what needs to get done. It's like a compass. You just gotta make sure that this desire or this goal that you're having is matching with your deep need. If, for example, self-esteem is important to you and you really want to have a fancy car, does the fancy car really give you the healthy self-esteem? And maybe it does, but just double check that this goal fits to your deepest desire. Generally, your needs give you a very good hint of what's next so you can work towards self-actualization. Just as a tree needs sun, water, and soil, so do all people need those lower needs from the environment. And as a result, you turn into a psychologically healthy human being. We need the foundation, and even being dependent on others to receive the love, respect, safety. Those lower needs can be mainly satisfied with the help of others. At some point you grow out of it and you become a bit more independent of what others think and do, but that was only possible because the foundation is met. And we can draw a couple of more connections. Mental illness, for example, can be explained with this model. Any mental illness got established due to a lack of your lower needs. For example, anxiety, maybe in your childhood or in the past, you did not feel safe. This need of safety did not get fulfilled. Or your parents were so afraid that they were actually super anxious, and they were like those helicopter parents, always make sure that you are safe. But as a result, nowadays, as soon as you go out of your comfort zone, you feel extremely unsafe because you haven't done anything on your own. You didn't learn about that. That's why you're anxious. It could be something in this direction. Depression, maybe it's a lack of belonging. Maybe you feel lonely. Maybe you simply don't have any communication or interpersonal communication skills with others. And that's why you feel lonely, or you struggle to build deep connections, or you have a very low self-esteem, which makes you feel very unsure generally about life, choosing a career. You never feel like this is something that fits to me. You're always unsure whether that's you or not, and you like dabble around life in a very insecure way, which makes you feel depressed. But again, all mental illness can be understood roughly in that manner by just understanding the lower needs and what is missing here. Also, people who are still preoccupied with fulfilling the lower needs are more extrinsically motivated, because again, those lower needs can be mainly fulfilled with the help of others, approval by others, right? Good feedback, or you have good grades in school. Generally, people approve you, or you find a mate, you find friends, you find an environment which is rather safe. It's all very much extrinsically motivated. But if you're self-actualizing, you're more intrinsically motivated. That means that you enjoy the process. You don't do it so you get some external and extrinsic reward. You just enjoy doing it. That's why you're also much more creative, because you can really dive into the process. You love the process, and that's why you can connect the dots much better. Also, you're generally doing something that you love much more because you understand who you are and you're not afraid of expressing who you are and do the work that you truly love. And that's why you also enjoy the process more. That's why you're more creative again, because intrinsic motivation is connected to creativity. Also, people who are more preoccupied with fulfilling the lower needs are more competitive. They like to be relatively better than others, prove their worth, and maybe destroying others and being better than others in general. And self-actualized people are so secure that they're not interested in doing that. They're not interested in competition. They're interested in cooperation, getting inspired, helping each other, because they know they can create win-win situations. So you can probably already tell we're drawing some connections with the first chapter, characteristics of self-actualized people, simply because this model to a degree explains why people behave the way they do and why they think and feel the way they do, especially self-actualizers, why they are the way they are. And there's a very good reason for that. Though Maslow also said that there's much more to becoming self-actualized than just fulfilling your lower needs. If you're at some point having then a very healthy self-esteem, that's not just suddenly giving you a meaning and purpose in life and you feel self-actualized and all those characteristics and your perception of life also changed. There's much more to it, and the foundation and those needs are very important and necessary to meet them and fulfill them. But on top of that, there are more action steps that you need to undertake to get closer towards self-actualization. Though right now in the next chapter, I want to talk about a stage that can be actually found above self-actualization. So there is actually an additional stage. Nobody knows about that. Abraham Maslow wrote an article about this at some point, but nobody really knows about it. And I want to talk about this one first, and then we come back and we talk about more action steps.